Hey up, right, just my final thoughts on the Honda ST125 DAX. I've had it for getting on for a month, not quite a month, but getting on for a month. I've already put 3 videos out which really explains the capabilities of this bike. What I would suggest, I'll put a playlist in the video description down below. If you want to go through the minutiae of detail, it'll all be there for you to look at. Today is just a final thoughts video. First of all, this bike's really impressed me. You don't expect much from a mini motor, a little 125. A lot of people consider them to be, you know, below par as far as normal day-to-day use is concerned. That's not true. Now, the gear system on this bike is a little bit of an education if you're used to a manual system, you know, manual transmission on a bike. It's solvable. You know, you soon get to you know, work out how to use it. What I will say is I've got a bit of a telling off from 1 or 2 people about my demonstration of setting off in top gear with a pillion on board, and that it's bad for the clutch. I know that. I try my best not to insult people's intelligence. I just took it for granted that people will realise that's not something you're meant to do on a regular basis. But that was a demonstration of how I cocked up with the gear change at a level crossing, but the adaptability of this bike came through for me really and saved me. You know, I wasn't trying to show you an example of how you should ride this bike. The gear system works really well. It's just a matter of re-educating yourself from a manual gearbox system on a normal bike to this centrifugal clutch system. And if you do occasionally get it wrong when you first take delivery of one of these bikes, you know, it is very adaptable and it will get you out of trouble until you get the hang of it. I wasn't suggesting that that's how you should ride the bike as a matter of course. Now, I wasn't particularly sort of optimistic about the suspension on this bike when I first did the initial walk around. In actual fact, it's a really capable suspension system. It's non-adjustable front and back, but whether you're riding solo, in which case it is quite firm but it's still comfortable, or whether you're riding with a pillion, it works really well. It never bottomed out at any, you know, point during the various tests that I've done, and I've ridden it for nearly 200 miles now. It's got just enough room on the seat for 2 people. Not an excess of room, but it's got just enough room for 2 people to be comfortable over sort of short distances. We were doing sort of 20 miles at a time, and it's perfect for that. Any further than that, and you know, depending on your build and your durability, you might find it is a little bit uncomfortable, but that's not what a bike like the Dax is designed to do. Primarily, I think it was designed as a commuter. You know, just the form and function of the bike, it's brilliant for getting you to work during the week. Small form factor, easy to park up at work, dead reliability. The battery, by the way, I've never had any trouble with the battery since I charged it up. Obviously, it's just that normal symptom of a bike, you know, been stood and not used for a long period of time and then been pushed back into service. The battery had drained. I charged it up, it's been fine ever since, so that's not an issue with this bike as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, as a commuter, it's a perfect bike. But I've been using it for running errands, you know, popping into Hull to do shopping and that kind of thing. Again, it's perfect for that. It's nippy, it easily keeps up with urban traffic. No issues whatsoever. And then on a weekend, you know, for a couple, or if you're just on your own, it's a great little fun bike to get out and about. You know, for 2 people, it's brilliant, as long as you're not wanting to travel too far. Don't get me wrong, I mean, you know, I think I've heard stories of people going around the world on these bikes. They can do it, but they're just not ideal for it. It's a perfect weekend fun bike for either a solo rider or for a couple. It easily keeps up with normal traffic on A and B roads. The suspension works really well on rough roads. I dare say it would even be fairly capable on gentle off-road situations. But it is just an all-round really capable bike. I can't emphasize to people that just discount a bike like this. They might have a low budget for a bike, but they just overlook bikes like this because they don't consider that they're going to be up to the job. It really is up to the job. It's like I said in my last video, I ride 350s on a regular basis, the classic 350 from Royal Enfield and the Honda GB 350S. Performance wise, it's not far behind them, 10 or 15 miles an hour off the top speed, because it's only a 125. It's less than half the size of those bikes engine capacity wise, yet it's still very capable. It easily keeps up with normal day-to-day traffic. I never felt at any time that I was holding anybody up. If you do get somebody behind you who seems to be hugging the rear, you just move over a little bit and let them pass. It's not one of those bikes that you feel you need to prove anything with. You just potter along with it. So yeah, in conclusion, don't discount bikes like this. I think it's a more practical bike than the Honda Monkey. The Honda Monkey has definitely got a bit more character than the Dax, but the Dax more than makes up for that in just sheer capability and practicality. The ability to carry a pillion. The very slightly longer wheelbase really helps out with stability. The Monkey's not unstable, but it can feel a little bit twitchy when you first start riding it. There's none of that with the Dax. It's a very stable little platform. The other thing I noticed when I was cleaning it yesterday, it's a really easy bike to clean. You haven't got lots of tubes running all over the place on the frame. You've just got this monocoque pressed steel construction, and it makes cleaning really easy and efficient. You can get everything on the bike to make a thorough job of it. So yeah, just from a cleaning point of view, it's more practical than a traditional motorcycle. It's just got everything going for it. Now, the other thing that Paula asked me to, actually Paula brought it up in the Pillion test that we did, is that, if you've got a camper van, and a few people came in on the comment section on that as well, if you have a camper van, this is the ideal little motorcycle to strap onto the back of your camper van, and when you get to your destination, you can pack your van up, leave it where it is, and if you want to get out and about while you're at your destination, it's the perfect little runabout for going to the shops or going out sightseeing. And really, that's the image that it conjured up in my head. It's a fun day out sort of bike, as long as you're not wanting to travel too far and crunch a lot of miles. It's just fantastic for a free and easy day out. This bike has survived on and off since 1969, and there's little wonder really. Honda got the form factor right at the beginning when they first designed this bike, and obviously the bike's grown engine size since then, but it's absolutely phenomenal value for money in my mind because of what it's able to bring to your life as a motorcycle. Now, the other thing is, I've mentioned cleaning, servicing. This bike comes with a 6-year warranty. It's a conditional warranty. You have your standard 3-year warranty with Honda. That can be extended to 6 years providing you get it Honda authorised dealer serviced. And just looking around this bike, servicing is going to be an absolute cinch. I believe this is traditional lock nut tappets, and you don't have to faff about getting out of those tappets. There's a cover over the head or rocker box, which I'm presuming you take that off and you've got access to your valve clearances straight away. There's no dismantling the bike involved. It's just a cover that you need to take off, and that's it. Oil, it won't use a lot of oil. and again, everything's all very accessible. So I think servicing is going to be very cheap. Now Honda do these package deals where you get servicing to cover you for 3 years of riding. I believe, check this out with the dealer, but I believe when that expires you can take it out again. So you know, you can get 6 years of worry-free motoring potentially for less than £600 as it stands at the moment. That's an absolute bargain. So yeah, I mean, you know, I've really enjoyed the Dax. I'll be sad to see it go. Would I have one in my garage? Absolutely. Yeah, if money and space was no object, there would definitely be one of these sitting in my garage. Absolutely no doubt about it, especially from the point of view of just popping out to the shops and things like that. You know, it's just great. I found it really useful during the time that I had it, just using it day to day. Right, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this and my other videos, and in doing so helping to support this channel. I really do appreciate it. I'd also appreciate it if you would leave a like, hit the hype button, and consider becoming a subscriber if you're not already a subscriber. It does help me out. There are other ways you can help me out via my Patreon page, PayPal donations, or by using the super thanks button down below. That's it really, that's all I've got to say. If you're riding, the weather's a bit on and off at the moment, if you're riding, please ride safely, and I'll see you soon.